You're live. Welcome, everyone, to another Overwatch 2 broadcast. Thank you, Lord Speep.
Thank you, Lord Speed. My name is Alex, aka Gumi, and I'm joined here with...
I'm Tomas. You can find me at Doormat.
And we're here to show you some clips from the previous games before we get into our next one. So first off, we have Infectious, who, for some reason, is on Tracer. And you know what? You need good aim on Tracer, and you need good aim on Tank. And this just shows that even in stressful situations, Infectious can keep it cool and collected.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining about seeing those clips.
Me neither.
Very, very, very nice. Additionally, we had Moose on the Zenyatta. Very powerful hero in this new patch. And much like us, he's just keeping it chill. Zen can be a very fragile hero, can fall over with even an especially high breeze. So having a Genji or a Tracer coming at you, very scary. But Moose on the Zen, just able to keep it calm and hit those shots.
Making sure not to get dove by those flankers. Just keep it cool and trust yourself.
Absolutely.
And lastly, but certainly not least, we have Speed and his... what do I even say?
What do you call it? Other than
amazing.
Yeah.
Spectacular. Fantastic.
Watching Speep's clips is like walking through the woods. Just
makes me feel very zen.
Exactly.
If you will.
Don't need to think. You can just appreciate it.
It's beautiful.
Speaking of appreciation, I'm excited for these games coming up.
Going against University of Wisconsin-Madison. Hopefully they are as relaxed as we are, as zen as we are.
But if I had to face Terps Esports, I know I would not be very relaxed at all. Yeah, it's a very scary prospect.
And Overwatch is a very stressful game. So every once in a while, it's nice to take a step back, take a deep breath, and just let it all out. And just relax.
Absolutely.
So that is what we will be doing. We had a very stressful win last week, if you tuned in.
We've needed to do some breathing exercises mandated by the university so that our heart rate doesn't get too high. A C9 to end out what was a fantastic series.
Nearly sent me into a cardiac arrest if you check my clip on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, coming out of the gate, Maryland was looking fantastic, and then they kind of lost it for a little bit, so brought us to a game 5, and yeah, it was just fantastic way that they were playing it, and it looked like they were going to win that final fight either way.
It was a very even fight at the end, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And the Terps took a step back, took a breath, played it cool, and won the series.
They just realized that they need to just keep their eyes on the prize, stay on that cart, and their opponents, they just probably weren't very zen.
Yeah, I don't think they did their meditation exercises beforehand.
No. So,
with that being said, we're gonna go do those exercises, and we will see you guys in the booth. Breathe.
Welcome back. We're here. We're on Lijiang. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, those meditation exercises help me a ton.
Yeah,
I'm ready
absolutely.
to commentate this game.
Terps Esports already all the way on the far side of the map on the Mega. Looks like we got a dive comp coming up from Terps Esports, and they're already chunked down the Junker Queen. And this is already maybe a lost fight for Wisconsin Mass, and they are able to trade off the sweep, and there goes Tony as well, but they take the Genji in return. It's still a 3v3 fight. Lucio by himself gets hacked. Are they going to be able to find him? Pumpkin gets 2, both healers, and now it's a 1v3. It's going to be very, very hard for Wisconsin Madison to win this fight. The Junker Queen is back though. She's getting hacked. Is she going to die? She is. That's what happens when you have these this new DPS passive.
Wow, that queen melted so quickly in both instances in this fight. It just goes to show the amazing focus fire from the Terps. Like, you have Sombra Tracer. That's not a amazing damage output if you can't hit your shots, but Speep and Jaquez is just working together so well to take out that queen. And yeah, I mean, UMD is just going great, and they're going to do it again. Look at them diving in on the queen as they try to rush in on the backline. Pumpkin will fall, and so will Moose, but the queen is falling dangerously low, and Terps will find the pick, but they have no sustain to back up the fight. And I think they're just going to have to leave it for now. Yeah, recollect themselves, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that just goes to show how strong that bleed healing can be if you're really using all of Junker Queen's abilities just perfectly, just in a perfect cycle. I mean, we saw Tony shooting basically nobody except for the Junker Queen. I'm sure the rest of Terps Esports, we didn't really see it, but I'm sure they were also doing very similarly, but they just weren't able to find the Junker Queen, all that healing that she can give to herself. We're going to see the Moira ult coming out from Wisconsin Madison, not going to find anybody, and Moose returning with one of his own. Here's the EMP coming out from Jaquez, and they're going to find the Moira off of that, and the Lucio. Both healers going to fall. We do lose Pumpkin in the process, but it looks like just going to be drops in the bucket for Wisconsin Madison, as Terps are going to be able to flip this point back.
What an amazing EMP. Let's talk about it. Let's see. They stopped Beat. They stopped Queen ult, or like not stopped, but prevented the ults from being used. They also prevented the Genji from getting the blade. Like, wow, that's a valuable EMP. But Wisconsin does have ults coming back into this fight.
Yeah, and the focus fire was also there. And speaking of focus fire, there goes Queen, either through Beat or before Beat was even able to come out. And Maryland going to just copy, just mirror a beat of their own. They're going to find Genji and Moira too, and looks like they're running all the way almost to spawn to be able to stack with that Lucio, but they're going to be able to get it. And as the time's ticking up, I mean, both teams have the Lucio, so we could see 2 fights, but we might already be down to last fight territory.
Yeah, that was a really, really good response by Pumpkin to wait for the beat.
Jesus, what are you doing? Oh no, he gets
scuffed.
His chance look at it gets cut out, and Lucio's just gonna be able to make him fall. Are they gonna be finding anybody? A bunch of ults coming up from Terps Esports, but they're not gonna find anybody. They find the Queen, but they lose everybody else in the process. Basically, it's just Tony. He's in primal, but he's not gonna be able to find anybody. And at this point, you probably just want to reset and go for your next fight.
Tony and Speed, the sole survivors of that fight on the side of UMD, and it's unknown if they will get out. He's dropping dangerously low, but he will survive for the time being. And that's really big, considering now University of Wisconsin is split.
Here comes the Queen ult, and they're going to find Pumpkin for it, but they're only going to find one. It can be a very powerful ult. There goes Sweep as well. And Maryland now just going to regroup. They probably still have 2 fights, as long as Tony doesn't fall, but he is going to fall, and Moosey will too. And now the time's still ticking up, and we might be in last fight territory.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward stagger there on Tony and Moosey's part, but Terps coming back with 3 powerful ultimates, the EMP, Pulse Bomb, and the Moira ult, but Wisconsin will have their own Moira ult, as well as the Pulse Bomb and coming up on that beat.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you really got to keep your eyes on Jaquiz's right now. That EMP is probably the most impactful. Oh, but he's going to fall. He's going to fall before he even gets it up, and now it's just an even fight. Here comes the stick onto the Junker Queen. Are they going to be able to get the kill? No, the Lucio ult comes down to save him. And in fact, Pumpkin is going to fall. Tony on point now, but it's just him. All of Wisconsin-Madison, 4 players are on him, and Tony just has to run. But they do get the trade onto the Moira, and looks like this Tracer might fall as well. Overtime now. They just gotta stay on point.
It's so winnable on the side of UMD. It's a 3v3 right now on the point. It's just up to UMD to get these ults online, and Tony's going to have that Primal Rage. He's going to take out the Genji. Pumpkin going to use the beat just to secure this fight. The Queen dropping dangerously low, but the Moira is now back on the side of Wisconsin, and they may survive this ongoing aggression, but they will fall, and that's the point capture, and that's the round.
Wow.
For UMD.
What an exciting game. I mean, so we've only had this new patch out for what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
But it's got to be one of my favorite. I'm gonna say one of my favorite seasons that we've had in a while.
Yeah.
The games are just so exciting. Tanks die really fast, but that means that everything has to happen fast. Otherwise, you're just gonna fall over before anything happens.
It's true.
So,
one thing. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. One thing I like about this patch is Moira. We're seeing a lot of Moira, and you know, she's actually infuriating to play against because it feels like she does absolutely nothing when she's on your team, but when she's on the enemy team, she 1v9s. But I think it's just nice to see Moira in a meta. I haven't seen her in a while.
Absolutely. I haven't seen her in ages.
I know.
And honestly, I'm having a hard time believing that she's even better now.
I know. And especially in these dive comps where we're seeing a Winston Tracer Sombra with a Moira. That's just something you've never really seen before. And we're going to get right into the next round. Speep already taking down that Junker Queen on the Sojourn. We're actually going to see swaps here from the side of UMD. Off the Tracer and the Sombra, onto the Sojourn and the Reaper, which is going to make this more into a brawl.
Yeah, everybody except for Pumpkin on that trademark Lucio, who's just always so strong, especially in these very fast metas. But other than Pumpkin, everybody on Terps Esports is switch characters.
Yeah, we're actually, like you said, we're going to see that Baptiste instead of a Moira, and we're also going to see that Ramatra instead of a Winston. Just honestly shows the versatility of these players to be able to play so many different things.
Yeah, 100%. Amora very low, but she's going to get saved just in the nick of time by that Lucio ult. They are going. Terps Esports are going to lose their immortality field, but they get the Junker Queen, they get the Lucio as well, and now it's just cleanup. Are they going to be able to find this Genji? He's falling very low, and he's able to get the BAV. Everybody a little bit too tunnel vision on killing the Genji, not realizing, hey, you know, he's got reflect up. Let's give him a second. And Terps Esports killed our own Baptiste, but he'll get the taxi from Lucio. He'll be back perfectly.
It's actually Jaquiz's there, taking out his own player from the deflect, but Pumpkin will have the foresight to speed his teammate back, and Speed is going to get taken down, jumps out of the immortality field, but out come the ults from UMD. Moose going to pop the amplification matrix, and the Moira on Wisconsin's going to pop that coalescence. But Jaquiz's, he's holding down the fort on the point, takes down the Tracer as Moose falls in the back line. They have these ults available, and Tony's going to pop his Ramatra Annihilation. Take down 2, and that's enough to force Wisconsin off of this point. And now, we're in last fight territory already.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what does Wisconsin have coming into this? They've got Beast, they've got Blade, but I mean, if you take a look at Terps' old economy, they're looking so strong, and they'll be able to engage before Wisconsin is as well. So Wisconsin absolutely have an uphill battle. We can see Pumpkin hiding all the way in the background, just making sure that he doesn't fall too soon, and he's able to get the beat off. He is, and now we see a mirror coming out from Wisconsin of that Lucio ult. But it's just not going to be able to get as much value as Terps. And Junker Queen's gonna fall.
Yeah, Moira's gonna fall, but Moose will fall in the backline, but it just doesn't seem to be enough on the side of UMD, and this Genji is working miracles right now, taking out 2 in the fight, but it doesn't matter. He will fall, and that's Terps taking the first map of the series, and it's a pretty clean one at that.
Yeah, absolutely. The first game was back and forth, but I mean we can see just how strong Terps Esports is on that brawl when they need to be. And oh! I thought it was Tony. Oh, Summer got us.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, I mean it was that EMP that we were talking about earlier. Just so strong, shuts down all of Wisconsin Madison's counterplay that fight, and you can also see the focus fire comes out from all of Maryland as soon as that EMP comes out. It's just, you know, kill Moira, everybody's on Moira, and she falls over instantly.
One thing about Moira, now that she's in this meta, she's very, very easy to counter. You pressure her, force out her fade, jump after her.
Yeah.
She goes down, easy.
She does have a get out of jail free card, but as soon as that's over, what does she have? She's got an orb with the new DPS passive. I mean, that's
you can definitely damage the orb ceiling.
Yeah, absolutely. What an exciting game.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just a fan of Moira. I mean, look, I've been playing her too in my ranked games, and I'm in. Where am I? Masters.
Masters, probably Diamond.
So if she's being played in these like collegiate BEC games specifically, you know that the character is worth at least taking a stab at.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, her ultimate is probably, you know, so I've heard people saying that that it's a very weak ultimate because, you know, it doesn't really have the damage output. I think it even gets out damaged by Mercy's Glock. But the thing is that what it doesn't have in damage, it makes up for with
healing.
Yeah, it can heal the entire team and damage the entire enemy team.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure that you're getting the lineups. Right. That you're getting as many people as possible.
Those big sight lines. Moira ult is just so useful, and also I'm fairly certain that it is one of the fastest charging ults in the game, if not the fastest. Next to Baptiste's Amplification Matrix and maybe like Tracer Pulse Bomb.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if those two beat it. But the fact that Moira is able to heal like as a group instead of, you know, single healing that you might see from Ana or from Mercy, you know, basically like quadruples the rate at which her ult can be charged. Plus, she's able to heal and damage simultaneously, which is something that you don't see with a lot of characters. I mean, certainly not even healers. You don't see a lot of it.
Yeah, this, like you said, this has been an interesting few weeks of Overwatch, especially after this new patch. I think it's been, I want to say, what, 3 weeks maybe?
I think 2, maybe
not even 2 weeks. We've already seen one hotfix patch, like 3 separate metas. Like earlier, the rage was Zen, Lucio, Tracer, Winston, hard dive.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing more of those like brawl comps with Winston. I mean, Winston brawl, Junker brawl. Even if it's not doing so hot right now, we're still seeing a lot of different stuff.
Just last week we saw Maryland on a couple of the maps trying to force the Wrecking Ball because everyone thought it was just so strong. I mean, the DPS passive making it hard to heal up your tanks. So, you know, it's a very intuitive thought. You know, maybe you just don't play a tank that needs healing.
Yeah. But now Moira, one of the characters that just heals more than Zen or Lucio. So now we're seeing a shift in the meta from these quick fights to these like kind of scrappy, close range, kind of sustained fights almost. Like Moira can charge her ult in like maybe a fight if it goes on for long enough. Like I remember I know this is Overwatch 1, but when I used to play Moira on my team, I would charge my ult in a fight, and I'd use it the first fight, because no one would have died.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it feels almost like you're as a healer, you're trying to sustain 5 separate 1v1s in this meta instead of 1 5v5.
Yeah.
And that's really why she's so strong. You can give a little bit of healing here, throw the orb over there. And she can do her own 1v1s. I mean, she can 1v1 a lot of the DPS cast if your movement's there.
But it's also a weakness of Moira, like you said, or like you kind of alluded to, her range is abysmal.
Yeah.
At least for her healing. So if your Tracer is off I don't know, 3v1ing or whatever, doesn't have a recall and is in a bad spot, plumb out of luck. But luckily, we have Speep on Tracer.
Yeah.
And as you guys saw in the intro, he is not one to go down lightly, question mark?
Yeah, absolutely
Something like that. He's not one to go down without a fight. There we go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good stuff, honestly, from the UMD roster.
Yeah, this is an explosive start. Good to see. And I would be very surprised if we don't see similar explosive energy coming up from the rest of this match.
Yeah.
But we'll find out just after this.
Yeah.
And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Terp Adventures take flight at Stamp. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body, feed your mind, feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance, sing, perform, find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete. Play. With wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the center for campus life, where Terp adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
Welcome back. We are already into game 2 of the series. We'll be jumping in any second now. And here we are, Circuit Royale. Oh, we're gonna see some Speep clips. I'm so excited.
Yes. Speep on that Widowmaker is very, very important. And we're gonna see UMD taking this top right side. Moose, that aggressive Zenyatta taking out the most integral part of this team, the enemy Baptiste. Yeah, and UMD can just push forward. They pretty much have free reign now.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard for Wisconsin to sustain through any kind of poker fight with just Zen heals. So Terps Esports, I'm surprised they're not playing a little bit more aggressive. If they're able to get a pick here, and Speep going for that grapple flick headshot, but in fact going to get diffed a little bit. But here comes the Sigma, and Sigma's also very important. It's going to be very hard for anybody to stay alive through this gravitic flux. Great stuff coming out of Tony. Are they going to be able to find the Baptiste? He's very, very low, and nobody's quite able to find him. But it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to be able to touch. And Terps already taking this first point, 4 minutes 44 seconds into time bank.
Yeah, and we started there a little bit late, but you can see UMD already building all these really important ults, like Tony already committing the gravitic flux to the fight and finding both the backline, absolutely massive. And then Terps having a little bit of an edge on Wisconsin in terms of support ults, which arguably are the most important on this map, that Immortality Field and that Transcendence from the Zenyatta. We're going to see how they're going to use these ults. I have a feeling they're going to go in the aggressive very soon.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost see, you can see C3 is itching to click anything. We do see the Transcendence coming up, just trying to keep Tony alive through that gravitic flux, and they're able to do that. We see a little bit of an ult up coming out from Terps Esports. C3 keeping on, holding on to it. Both teams just kind of poking out. Here comes the window now. Are they going to be able to find anything? We see the Transcendence come out from Wisconsin, just trying to keep everybody alive.
Oh,
beautiful shots from Jakeezus.
Beautiful shots through the window. Going to take down that enemy Widow, and there goes all the pressure. But the enemy Overclock is going to come out, and that's tons of damage that you need to kite and you need to want to run away from. So maybe the Widow going down is not going to amount to much, as UMD and Wisconsin is going to take this neutral fight. No one really finding an advantage for now. Just trading damage back and forth, and Jakeezus finds the Widowmaker once again. Speep under a lot of pressure from the Zenyatta, but he's going to force out that Immortality Field, and that's a massive utility gone from Wisconsin. Soj alone on the left side, but UMD's just going to ignore her, walk towards the Sigma, and Discorded, he will fall in the matter of seconds. And
beautiful
Tony,
tracking from Tony, able to kill that Sojourn while she's sliding. And at this point now, it's just the Widowmaker. She's not going to try to touch. And Maryland just kind of steamrolling this point so far.
yeah, UMD really biding their time, taking these fights slow and steady. Just, you know, as they say, slow and steady wins the race. That's all you got to do. Bait out the enemy utility, bait out the enemy abilities. Once they don't have them, then you walk in and punish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're just seeing so much pressure from Speep and Jakeezus on that backline. It's making it very hard for anybody from Wisconsin to peek or to challenge Tony on point. And there's also that Zen, that Discord Orb. Oh, beautiful shot from Speep. That Infrasight shows why it can be such a strong ultimate, even though it technically doesn't even really do anything.
Yeah, enemy Widow peeking into a Widow, not the best idea. And the Dragon Strike combined with the Window is going to find two. And UMD in the last leg of this map with 3.5 minutes left to go. Jakeezus on a rampage right now is going to take down the Zenyatta. And UMD still has this Gravitic Flux to Sig-9 the point.
Who's going to be able to touch? Wisconsin going to Doomfist, but he might be too slow. The Tracer is going to be able to touch him. The Doomfist does make it on time. We do see the Transcendence coming out from Maryland. The Gravitic Flux also coming down. We find the Baptiste, we find the Tracer, and at this point now it's just the Doom. If the Doom can go down as soon as the Transcendence is over, that's going to be it. 3 minutes on the clock for Terps Esports. What a fantastic time.
Wow. 3 minutes and 6 seconds on the clock. That is a masterclass, especially on Circuit Royale. That is impressive beyond belief.
Yeah, absolutely. The team is just working so well together. Jakeezus, Speep, just kind of shutting down all of the squishies on that defense, on that defensive side, and the Zenyatta, those Discord orbs, as well as the windows, just kind of evaporating the Sigma if he ever tries to touch the point.
Yeah, it just goes to show, now with the new changes to Zenyatta, where Discord Orb, you can't Discord the same target. There's like a Discord, what's it called, like cooldown, I suppose,
yeah, it's
on
kind of like a cooldown.
Certain targets. You really need to think about using your Discord. You can't just use it all willy-nilly and just apply it every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So, Moose on the Zenyatta just showing great discipline when it comes to that orb, because I swear, every time that Sigma gets discorded, he's blowing up.
Yeah, I mean, really the one time that I saw him alive, challenging point, it was when Wisconsin had that Zenyatta Transcendence, keeping him up. As soon as that went down, in all of these fights, you know, the, Wisconsin's tank was short. It was soon to follow.
Yeah, and I mean, Wisconsin Widow winning the 1v1 on the first point, but then losing the 1v1 on that third point. We didn't really see a 1v1 Widow on the second point. It was more of like a Jakeezus
No, that was
carry.
just
Yeah, it was
Jakeezus
just
killing.
you know, turning on the aimbot.
Yeah, exactly,
But-
killing her out of spawn.
Yeah, and then Speed having that Infrasight advantage, just being able to see the Widow through the walls is just so important in that matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we'll see what kind of adaptations Terps Esports are going to be using. And
That's a good adaptation right there.
yeah, I mean, already going to be able to find the Jakeezus. Just playing a little bit too far up on that car. Tony didn't have his shield up in time, and now Terps Esports are on the back foot. They just need to back up. If they get staggered here, they might not have a full fight for this last point. They need to just hold S right now, and regroup. And there goes C3. I mean, I would be very surprised if Tony's actually able to live through all of this pressure coming out from Wisconsin. But if he is, he's in a great spot to try to challenge this point.
Yeah, nearly dodges the rock there. He's just stuck in this corner at the moment. Both Sigma's just trading damage back and forth while he waits for his team, but oh, that was so close.
Speep trying to get the jump onto that enemy Widowmaker, but he's just not having any of it. Shuts down Speep as soon as he grapples. And now, Tony falling dangerously low on the point. Critical, and C3 is scared to keep him up. As soon as he peeks out, he's going to get shot by the Widowmaker. And he's just forced to play behind that pillar and just wait.
Yeah, and we're seeing similar time banks. Well, not even similar. We're seeing a more impressive time bank from Wisconsin on this first point. Not really encountering a lot of resistance from UMD. And it just goes to show the volatility of this mirror matchup where it just depends on the Widow getting picks and winning the 1v1 to give you that space. But I have no shortage of faith that Speed will be able to bring this back in the 1v1. And we're going to see an early window here from Wisconsin, just forcing out cooldowns from UMD. A lot of damage coming through that window, while UMD does not have their own. Rock from the Sig. The Gravitic Flux coming out from Tony will find two. Absolutely massive. That Immortality field goes down before they hit the ground. And that's going to be the footing that UMD needs to get back their composure.
Yeah, Wisconsin needs to be very careful right now. This point, this high ground that they're about to try to challenge, can be very, very difficult to overcome. I mean, you can just kind of sit back and I mean, it feels like storming the beaches of Normandy.
Oh,
sometimes it really does feel like that when you're trying to overcome this high ground.
Yeah, it sure feels like that, especially walking into two different snipers. And Jaquizis, I just want to point out, you know what? I'll point it out later, but that window coming out can be absolutely massive. But Speep and C3 both going down to the Widow. Jaquizis as well. This Widow is going crazy.
Yeah, absolutely great teamwork coming out from that Wisconsin side. We could see, I mean, obviously that Widowmaker just hitting some beautiful shots, but we could see the Dragon Strike comes out and it forces the jump from Baptiste, goes positions himself way out of position just to avoid the Dragon Strike, and Widowmaker is able to pick him off for free.
Yeah, and UMD is going to give up that second point, opt to go for the third point. Steve's going to pop the Infra Sight. He's going to see everyone through the walls, see most importantly where that enemy Widow is. But look at this positioning. Oh, the timing.
Yeah, that's what that Infra Sight can do. Just beautiful shot from Speed, waiting for that Hanzo to peek, and able to get the Baptiste as well, just coming down the stairs. Terps Esports pushing up now. They're going to be able to find the Widow, and it's just clean up at this point. Oh, poor Zen. Nothing he can do at this point.
Oh, that is a camera angle to say the least. But Speep on that Widow. But back in the game, if you will. Yeah, back in this 1v1.
Absolutely, they're locked in, and now, if Wisconsin wants to match Terps Esports time, they need to get some kind of push going right now, as the time's ticking down. Only about 30 seconds left.
Trank coming out from both sides, as well as the Graphitic Flux coming out from both sides. Not going to find a lot on Tony's side, but the Sigma will be isolated, rocked, and taken down just outside of that Immortality field, as well as the Amplification Matrix coming out from the enemy Baptiste. Moose will fall, but Tony and Jaquizis still have this hold on the top left side.
Yeah, Terps Esports needs to be so careful because yes they are up a tank right now. They're able to play behind that shield, but they're kind of trapped in this corner, and with the window up with that Zen taking that off angle, they just get surrounded. Speep is able to find the Hanzo and kind of even out the fight, but still the healers are not back for Terps Esports, and they're just going to need to give up the point. They are able to stall it out though, and they've taken the lead on this first round.
Yeah, this time bank, super important when it comes to these next upcoming rounds if they do occur. But now UMD has these long sight lines for their Widow and their Hanzo on this little last stretch of the map, and it's so hard to push this part of the map. I've been held on this map for so many minutes at a time, especially when you're going against a Widow and Sigma on the enemy side dropping so low. They decide to pop this Amplification Matrix.
He does have the grasp. But Wisconsin aren't even able to play behind a pillar. Great geometry coming out from Tony, looking like a math major out there, and he's able to find two of Wisconsin. They're just forced to back up. The Zenyatta is super out of position here, but they're just not quite going to be able to find him. Dropping him so low, 1 HP. He's going to be able to get back up though.
The shots from Jaquise is a little bit unlucky there. Not bouncing off the wall in the angle that he wanted it to. And that Zenyatta will survive and be able to keep dominating this high ground. But Jaquise on the flank, finding that Widow, doing Speep's job for him. And Tony just going to be able to take this 1v1 with the Sigma, rocking his world. And, you know, all you need to do is distract the tank, and your team does the rest of the work. And C3 finding 2 in this team fight, Speep finding 1. Wisconsin's going back to the drawing board.
Yeah, the DPS are just so impactful in this current patch right now, and we can really just, I mean, it feels like a highlight reel for both Jaquise and Speep. Just opening basically every single fight up with a pick. We're gonna see this Dragon Strike coming out now, just completely cutting off Sigma from the rest of his team. He's falling so low. Here comes the grasp though. It's not even needed. He's gonna fall before it goes out. And now we see Wisconsin on last fight territory. They're going to need to regroup and win this fight. Tony playing so far up, just trying to get some sort of stagger going. Any kind of advantage that they can get going into this fight could mean the end for Wisconsin. Force them down 2-0.
Yeah, that was an absolutely massive rock from Tony, canceling the enemy Sigma and ulting him just to make sure that he died. But now we're going to see an ult advantage from Wisconsin. 3 ults to UMD's 1. Well, almost 1. C3 and Speep, don't count them out. They're coming up on their own ults.
Yeah,
and it's last fight.
We do see the window coming up from Wisconsin, and fortunately, Terps Esports are able to get around the corner for the most part, but they are going to lose Jaquise. Here comes the window out from them, but all the opponent Sigma does have all of his abilities up, able to keep himself just nice and healthy until that Transcendence comes down. And now Terps Esports are getting pushed all the way to just the very end of their point. You see Speep taking these off angles with the Infrasight, just waiting to try to get some sort of pick. Sigma doing a great job coming out from Wisconsin, just keeping himself alive. And we see overtime does come out now.
Where's the Jaquise on this Genji, which is a crazy pick. He's gonna pressure this backline, try to find the Widow. He's gonna try to find the BAP. He's not gonna find the BAP. He's 1 HP. He's gonna miss the shots, but C3 falls in the backline to the Hanzo,
and it's just
crumbling.
Tony.
It's just Tony on the point, but he will go down to the Widow, and UMD may get it to overtime, but they will fall in the last fight, and that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, it's so close, and it's especially infuriating if you're Terps Esports, because normally that that overtime threshold is so important because they have well over a minute, 3 minutes on the time bank. Normally this would be all but a free win, but of course on the escort they are going to need to Wisconsin are going to get a minute back on this clock, and so they still have, it's still absolutely anybody's game.
Right, 1 minute, 4 minutes. Honestly, I think in these next rounds it doesn't really matter. We saw Wisconsin perform extremely well in that first point. If they can get it, honestly, anywhere around second half of second point, maybe even the first half of the third point, that's going to be a challenge even for UMD's time bank.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you get these long overtime stretches that we could be gearing up to see, especially if Wisconsin wants to take this game, they're going to need to take this game well into the long term. It can just be so momentum based.
Right. And momentum is it's a big thing in every game, but I think on this map it's even more important because then you can give time for your Widowmaker to set up. You get time for your Hanzo to set up. You get time honestly for your Zen and your Sigma to set up. Like, setup is so important on this map. And we're actually going to see a swap off that Baptiste onto an Ana on Wisconsin side. Just kidding, I'm a liar.
Sauce back. Maybe he was looking for like a cheeky sleep dart or anti-grenade to open up the round, but he's just gonna go back to BAP. And speaking of going back, we're seeing that Widowmaker go back to spawn. Speed able to find him just as the game starts.
What a good pick from Speep. Just, you know, killing that Widow, it may not seem like a big thing, but it takes so much pressure off of your team. And ooh, look at this, holding the angle. Oh, the dink
gets the headshot, but with the new HP buffs, Hanzo is going to be able to stay up, and it's back to the drawing board for Speed, just trying to look for any kind of pick that he can get. And Terps Esports are pushed back all the way behind this corner here, trying to maybe this is going to be the time when they can actually hold.
Yeah, UMD falling back to this very defensible corner, and the damage coming out on both these Sigmas is a lot from both sides. And overtime wick now ticking down from Wisconsin. If UMD can hold it here, it's going to be absolutely massive for the ensuing rounds.
Yeah, that Sigma needs to keep that cycle going. If Wisconsin Madison, if that Sigma loses the cycle of any of his abilities, he can just fall immediately. We do see the immortality field coming out from Terps Esports, forced by that gravitic flux, but we see the window coming out, and that could be it. We see Speed does fall down, but it's going to be so hard for Wisconsin to stay up through this window when Terps Esports has that tank. And in fact, they're going to C9 forced off of that point, but I mean, it didn't really matter. We see the gravitic flux, and they were going to fall anyway.
That was so much back and forth. You saw Steep going down to the Widow. You saw the Sigma falling first on Wisconsin's side, and yet Wisconsin put up such a valiant effort getting both the window and the Zenyatta Transcendence before UMD, which are such important ultimates in this comp. Oh, it was scary there for a second. I was scared that Tony was just going to drop like that Sigma. Okay, Wisconsin Sigma, discorded, headshot through a window by a Widowmaker.
Yeah. I mean,
that is damage.
You say that you're a tank, but I mean, that's probably half his health bar right there.
Half his health bar? Okay, let's do the math. So Amplification Matrix is what? Times 2?
Times 2.
And Widow Headshot is...
like 250. Yeah, like 250.
And then Discord is like, what, 25% more?
Yeah, so
that
that
25% of 250 is...
It depends on how much of a charge it was, but I can see that one-shotting.
That should be around a one-shot.
Yeah.
I would say maybe 700 damage or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean, just goes to show how hard it is to try to frontline as a tank right now. I mean, you could see Terps Esports started holding on that car just after that first corner of the payload, but they didn't even fall. But they're just forced to walk all the way back two more corners. I don't think Tony fell once that entire fight, but it's because he was forced to give up so much space.
Yeah, Tony. He really knows how to play this back and forth, like the what's the word for it? Like the push and pull, if you will.
Yeah.
He really knows how to play it well, and it's so impressive, especially when it's put to good use.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the Discord coming out again. Not quite going to be able to find that Sigma, and you can see it's just so hard with the offensive with the pressure that we see out of that Wisconsin team. The Widowmaker, the Hanzo on the high ground, forcing Zenyatta to position himself just poorly, and he jumps one too many times. He's gonna fall and forced back to spawn. But Terps Esports doing a great job of just staying on the point, not letting it go backwards, and forcing Wisconsin completely off the high ground as well.
Yeah, now UMD in the same position that Wisconsin was in just a few minutes ago, but now we're actually not seeing it flipped at all. Wisconsin is still a little bit at an advantage when it comes to support ults, but it will not matter because look at the time bank. 3 minutes left on the clock. So impressive, and the cart is literally approaching the end goal as we speak. Speep could take it all here with a pick. Finds the headshot on the Hanzo.
It's just not quite going to be enough. But there goes the Baptiste. There goes the Hanzo. There goes the Widowmaker, and it's all over for Wisconsin. If one character falls, they all fall like dominoes. They find Musi, but frankly, it's nothing, as all of Wisconsin is going to fall, and that's going to be game 2.
Wow, Jakizis, honestly, he popped off. He did so well that map. I'm so proud of him. I know he's a good player, but we don't talk about Jakizis as much as we talk about Speep, and we need to give him credit where credit is due. Wait, that is
nasty. Dirty.
Okay, so they're gonna clip that on their Twitter.
If you're on Wisconsin Madison's Overwatch Twitter, you're gonna be seeing that soon.
I hope to see that clip.
Yeah,
because that was
very, very clean. But speaking of clean, I want to continue talking about Jakizis.
Yeah,
we were talking about Speed before this game. He's Widowmaker. He's the king of Widowmaker, and frankly, Circuit Royale is Widowmaker's home. But I mean, if Jakizis came up to me and told me that it was Hanzo's home, I would stop playing Widowmaker.
Actually, Hanzo's home is in, Hanamura. I took that map out of the game, but yeah, if you said it was Circuit Royale, I would believe it too. And something that I wanted to mention in game, but didn't really get the time to say, Jakizis and Speep have to work together. It is so important for that Hanzo and the Widow to play together, and not because you can kill the enemy widow, but because of that sonic arrow. Like, it is
Yes.
so important for Speep to know where that enemy widow is. And Jaquizas, you saw him, honestly, on so many different occasions, his sonic arrows are so precise, I guess. You have to be on the same page with the widow and the Hanzo to A, locate the enemy widow, and then B, take her out.
Yeah, we saw so many fights that opened with Speep getting that pick onto the enemy Widowmaker because he had that, the walls from Hanzo's Sonic Arrow.
Yeah. It is so important. And both these DPS players just so good. And that's not to take away from the rest of the team, because this was definitely a team effort, but I mean, they have to work together more. Like, those two DPS have to work together more so than usual.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, Terps Esports playing fantastically.
Right.
They are on fire today. They've been on fire this entire season. This has been a great season for them. But no, I mean, Circuit Royale is a sniper's playground.
Right.
And these snipers from Terps Esports showing us how it's done.
And it's so impressive, too, to see UMD on so many different looks, so many different comps. So the first map they run dive, they run brawl, and now they're running a poke. Just
Yeah.
checkmate.
Showing their range. And talking about Jaquizas again, I mean, we normally see him on, on characters like Genji. We saw him on Sombra on when we were playing on Lijiang. We saw him on Reaper as well. He's normally more of like a dive, like a get in your face and harass you kind of player. But if we're gonna talk about range on Terps Esports, I mean, coming onto that Hanzo and dominating the match.
Actually, wait, yeah, we've seen Jaquizas play four different champs.
4 different heroes. I mean,
Well,
all
champs, heroes. Sorry.
all of Terps Esports has been playing around. I mean, I think that the least we've seen would be
I guess C3.
probably C3, but the supports, but even they are still playing both. We saw the Lucio Moira on Lijiang
Zenbap.
into Zenbap
and now Lucio Bap, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Lucio Bap, and now Zenbap as well.
Right. Yeah, just amazing versatility from all of these players.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really excited for what we're gonna see. We're going on to Flashpoint now. I would not be surprised at all to see like a dive mirror.
Really, you think?
I
think Flashpoint is dominated by Brawl, no matter what map.
It depends. I think Servasa, much more dive oriented than.
I think Servasa you can get away with a dive, but I think a Brawl may edge out. But we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to tell. We've seen so many metas on so many maps.
So hard to keep track of them all.
So I mean, really, this season has completely shook things up. We've only been here for like 2-3 weeks, but I mean, it feels more like Overwatch 3 than Overwatch 2 Season 9.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to find out after this break. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll see what comp they run.
And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together. Everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game. And so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Terp Adventures take flight at Stamp. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body, feed your mind, feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance, sing, perform, find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. with space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete. Play. With wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the Center for Campus Life, where Terp adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
Welcome back. Here we are, Servasa. I mean, I'm calling the dive. We'll find out in just a couple seconds now.
Brawl. No more, as you guys saw in all chat there, no more Mr. Nice Guy. It's gonna be a it's gonna be a full out brawl in this casting booth actually. If I lose, so yeah,
okay.
get ready.
No, I think we're seeing brawl then. No, you're right. Let's fingers crossed.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see some brawl. No, I mean, I would not complain to see some brawl at all. I think it's just so hard to sustain.
I win.
Wow. I take it all back. I guess you're the better caster.
Oh yeah, what can I say? But also, interestingly enough, Tony on that Sombra.
Yeah.
That's got to be new.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Sombra just can add so much potential.
Oh.
I mean, we see the Moira, Tracer, Genji, all characters that can kind of be shut down with one well-timed hack. So it's kind of just like an anti-dive hero, and I think it's a great pick. We see the hack coming out onto the Junker Queen to start, stopping the shout, but nobody's going to be able to be found off of that. Terps Esports able to force Wisconsin completely off the point, and they're going to start capping as well. But Moose is going to fall to that Genji right off the bat, and Terps Esports are going to need to find somebody quick, and otherwise Wisconsin is probably just going to be able to stabilize and win this fight. And in fact, Terps Esports running for the hills now, just trying to stay alive.
Yeah, that was just honestly unfortunate. I think maybe Moose was caught a little bit off guard in the backline, but we are going to see that swap off the Kiriko onto the Moira. Like, honestly, I can't stand Genjis. I'd swap off Kiriko too. I'd go Moira too. I cannot stand Genjis. So Moose going to be tacking on his extensive nails, and he's going to see what he can do against that Genji.
Yeah, absolutely. The time to kill is just so low this season that having that get out of jail free card. I mean, as soon as you get pressured out, you just press shift and you're completely safe on Moira. It's a great thing to have this season, and we see a trade come out immediately. Both Moiras are going to fall, but Tony on that Sombra is also going to fall, and Maryland on the back foot as well. There goes Infectious on the Junker Queen, and now it's just Speed on that Tracer, just trying to stay alive. But is he going to be able to do it on just a sliver of health? Tony's going to fall first.
Tony's the one who's going to fall first.
But Speed is going to be able to survive.
Yeah, and I think this is first plane gone for the most part.
Yeah, time ticking up. There's just no way, and there it is.
I mean, this is a really interesting comp because, like I said, they're running what looks to be a brawl, but they're playing it like a dive. Like, they're hacking the Moira, forcing her fade, and then just running onto her when she doesn't have fade. And that's characteristic of a dive comp. So it's interesting to see this kind of playstyle, but I feel like it's not going to amount to much. I mean, just look at the ult bank.
Yeah, I mean, Terps Esports had the pulse bomb coming into this, but Speed just able to get caught going on a flank, and he's gonna get caught out and dropped before the fight even starts.
That was a crusade. Yeah. Oh no, pumping getting pulled in by the image Junker knife, and we're gonna see a beat, and beat and coalescence come out from Wisconsin.
Yeah, honestly, probably didn't feel necessary. They were already up 2 when the fight started, but I mean, look at that ult bank. They have the Junker Queen ult, such a powerful ultimate, as well as that pulse bomb. Might be able to just find a pick onto the right hero and that Dragon Blade. Wisconsin's looking great coming into this fight compared to just that EMP. And speaking of EMP, here it comes. It's not quite going to be able to find anybody. Ooh. Oh, I spoke a little bit too soon. There goes 3 players out of Wisconsin immediately, and there's the team kill.
Yeah, never count these boys out. Amazing EMP plus Infectious's Jungle Queen ult. Yeah. Just
Yep.
wow. Clean. I mean,
Yeah.
there's really not much to say. Everyone's
Cuts right through them. They did lose. Tony on that Genji immediately, but with Lucio's speed boost, he'll be able to get back just fine. And you got to be really careful with your pumpkin right now. We're gonna see a lot of ults come out from Wisconsin. We need that beat. Here it comes, and it is going to keep Wisconsin from finding anybody. Here comes the rampage out from Wisconsin Madison, but Terps Esports should be able to stabilize and be just fine. And the Junkie Queen a little bit too needy for that bleed charge. Goes into the entire team of Terps Esports, just gonna fall.
Oh, that
beautiful
blink smack is beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful beautiful dash into that smack. And as the time's ticking up, it's gonna be very hard for Terps Esports to touch, or not Terps Esports, Wisconsin to touch.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna see that second point go over to the Terps, and it's actually incredibly important there. Oh wait, no, we're gonna see a last second contest here. I think we are gonna see a last second contest by that Genji. He's gonna dash to the point and touch, and we're gonna see one last fight before this point is taken.
The pulse bomb. It's not
Pulse
quite
bomb
going to be
goes
able to
out.
find Genji, and nobody walks into it. But but it does force the Moira out of position. She's going to fall as well. So Terps Esports do have the advantage. They find the Genji, but Infectious falls for it. And oh, Ajax!
Oh, the Ajax!
No, he was so close. That could have completely changed the fight. But the Lucio from Wisconsin falls before he's able to get the beat drop, and that's gonna be the fight and the point for Wisconsin.
That's gotta hurt. And then at the end, you saw that Tracer just chucked the pulse bomb like it was nothing. They just threw away their ultimate advantage. And now UMD looking very good, especially with Tony swapping onto this Genji and already having a blade.
Yeah, absolutely great turnaround for Terps Esports. They were looking, their old economy was looking so weak compared to Wisconsin, but Wisconsin now struggling, just trying to do anything they can do to win the fight, and they don't even win it. And now Terps has the advantage. We're going to see that coalescence coming out from Terps Esports, as well as the Dragon Blade, looking for anybody. We find the Moira, and Speed going to win with the 1v1 as well, getting a little bit of a Tracer diff, and Wisconsin now the ones running for the hills.
Yeah, just, I mean, like we said earlier, force that Moira fade and run after her like crazy, and that's exactly what we saw Tony do. Just go straight for that Moira, and now we're gonna see the setup for the next fight, and we're already going into it.
Yeah, we see Infectious using that rampage, and he's actually able to surf the rock a little bit so that he isn't caught against the wall. Speed getting the stick onto the Lucio. Such an evasive character, hard to find those kinds of shots. But the rampage coming out from Wisconsin is going to try out both Infectious and the Moira Musi, and we're going to find Pumpkin as well.
Ooh. Tony almost finding the enemy Genji there. And the beat coming out from Pumpkin just a little bit too late to save Moose and Infectious. They will both fall off that Jerk Queen ult. And now we're seeing, honestly, a broken econ on the side of... Econ? Yeah, a broken ult economy on the side of UMD. And Wisconsin gonna have that blade, gonna have that beat, as well as coming up on that pulse bomb.
Yeah,
but
pulse bomb will be up there.
I think UMD just needs to take a couple of dry fights. Just to build up that bank, and here comes the blade, but it drops dangerously
so
low,
and it just didn't find quite the right timing. We see the pulse bomb coming out as well, but it doesn't find anybody. And now Terps Esports are the one hunting down Wisconsin.
Yeah, Speed gonna go in there, recall out, but just putting pressure on the enemy supports. Enemy Jungle Queen will fall, and it's a 3v5 on the point right now, with Wisconsin just scrambling to stall the timer out. With this Lucio just dancing around, trying to survive. Tracer will fall, Moira will fall in.
Oh, no. Pumpkin gets diffed a little bit, and you can see he's not happy about that, but frankly, it doesn't matter. 75% ticking up. Lucio will be able to come back very, very quickly, and we might not even see Wisconsin able to touch. If this Jungle Queen falls, there she goes, trying to put herself in a position where she can maybe touch the point a little bit soon. Not, you know, we saw the Genji get the touch last second with the dash, but as soon as his reflect went down, he fell. Jungle Queen trying to get up on that a little bit, put herself in a position a little bit further forward, and she's gonna fall for it.
That sucks.
Yeah,
that's not good. You don't want to be, especially the Jungle Queen. You don't want to be the first one dying in a fight ever.
Yeah, I mean, tanks really at this point, your only goal is to survive and just I mean, it feels like you're just like a signal flare trying to get the attention of as many people from the enemy team as possible while your DPS actually do the damage. But if you don't have that tank, I mean, one good coordination and anybody from your team is just gonna fall over.
We're gonna see some ults coming out here. Tony popping the blade and Moose popping the coalescence. Not gonna find anything, it looks like. But Speep is gonna find the Tracer on the backside, and Wisconsin is gonna pop their own Moira ult. But Infectious with, honestly, the massive Dragon Queen ult is gonna find 2, but 2 is just the right number. The Queen will fall, Lucio will fall shortly after, and Wisconsin sent back to the drawing board.
Yeah, Terps able to capture this objective that could be their last. Terps Esports absolutely locked in. If they need to win this fight, they need to win this point, and if they are able to do that, just put Wisconsin in a little bit of an early grave. We see just Pumpkin with that ultimate coming into this fight. He needs to be very careful that he doesn't end up losing that. It doesn't get Ajaxed. We see a lot of ults coming out from Wisconsin. The Pulse Bomb not quite going to be able to find anybody. Here comes the Rampage, but Pumpkin is on it. Gets able to drop the beat. Doesn't find the Tracer, but fortunately she's able to just recall, and she'll be fine. And now it's just an even fight. No ultimates. Is Tony going to be able to find the Moira? It's not quite. That Lucio coming in just in the nick of time is going to be able to save him. But Terps Esports able to rack up the percentage, 74, 75, 76. And it doesn't look like either of these healers are gonna die. Finally, the Moira goes down. Lucio's not gonna be able to touch. He falls as well. But Terps Esports able to tick all the way up to 90% just about. If they're able to flip this point, that'll be the final nail in the coffin.
That was a beautiful beat coming out from Pumpkin. Just barely saved Moose's life. He was ticking down from the Dragon Queen ult, and it was just so good. But unfortunately, it doesn't really amount to much. But we are going to see Moose having that Coalescence. And as we talked about before, Coalescence, fast charging, damage healing. There's a lot of different stuff. Well, obviously there's a lot of different stuff, but it's very, very impactful, especially for the little ult charge that it has.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Terps Esports just kind of playing this fight slow. As I say this, they explode onto point. Moosey gonna be able to get a Coalescence up any second now. They do lose Lucio and Junker Queen for just the Genji, but as both DPS are gonna fall, Maryland should have no trouble just sustaining themselves as long as they don't position themselves too poorly. And now they just need to find one of these healers. If one of them falls, that'll be the key to Maryland's victory right here.
Oh, beat is gonna come out from Wisconsin as well as the Coalescence. Tony's blade forcing them both, and Tony is gonna fall in response. I don't think that UMD has a fight here.
No,
and they decide to just back away.
Yeah, they just have to back up. They lose Moose, and in fact, I think they backed up a little bit too late. As now Wisconsin are going to be able to position themselves onto this final point and have the advantage.
Yeah, final point here is this very open point with a narrow side on the right side, and UMD not even having a really big ultimate advantage to show for it.
Yeah, I mean, so we do see pulse bombs out of both teams. I could see this fight being determined by who hits the pulse bomb and who doesn't. Both pulse bomb coming out from Terps Esports, but it's not going to be able to find anybody. But the Moira is just going to fall anyway. Speep gets 2. Is he going to be able to find a 3rd for this fight? There's the Junker Queen. Is he going to be able to find 4, maybe 5?
Oh no! Enemy Wisconsin Genji is going to find 3, and that is...
Yeah, put Speep's dreams to rest as he's going to be able to clean up that fight. Great job with those dash resets, and Wisconsin taking this last objective for themselves.
Wow, Speep said, here's a 3K. Yak said, here's my own 3K, and it was just... Whew. He said, you want to see an actual 3K. But we're going to see UMD coming out here with their beat as their only real ultimate besides that Moira Coalescence, and it is going to be something. The shout is going to come in with Moose's... Oh, but the beat and the Coalescence are not enough to save from the Pulse Bomb. The enemy Lucio is going to fall to Speed, but he needs to get out. He needs to get out right now, or else UMD going into this possibly last fight of the map.
Yeah, only with that Pulse Bomb available to them, it is absolutely going to be an uphill battle. Only about 10 seconds left to even touch the point to start this fight, and then they won't be able to step off of it. So as they're gearing up for it, we're gonna see an engage any second now. Here comes not the shout from Maryland, but here it is now, and here comes the beat out of Wisconsin. Beautiful stick from Speed onto the Jungle Queen, but with that beat from Wisconsin, they were able to keep her up. They're not able to keep up the Tracer though, and Moira no fade now. She's gonna fall along with the Jungle Queen any second now. There it is. Lucio's able to find the Genji, but it's too little, too late, and Terps Esports are going to be able to flip this point.
That blade was their saving grace from Tony, being able to slash through the Queen, and Pumpkin being able to find the first pick on that Tracer in the fight is absolutely huge. No pressure on that backline just means free reign for the Terps, and we're going to see the point flip, and this is dangerous territory for both teams.
Yeah, Wisconsin, no ults coming into this fight. I mean, their best bet is maybe to just hold ultimates and hope that they can have it next time. I lied. Here comes the rampage out from Wisconsin, but they're able to trade off the Junker Queens, and in fact, Maryland's able to stabilize her at least as much as you can in this kind of chaos. And they're just both teams just scrambling, looking for anybody that can possibly find. Time ticking up now. We're going to be seeing last fight territory any second.
That is best case scenario for UMD, being able to get the Queen ult out and not die. We're going to see Pumpkin's beat to sustain this fight, and it's a perfect beat because 81% and ticking, and the enemy Lucio goes down. This is massive from UMD. Genji Blade comes out, but he will fall, and Infectious is still holding on to this Jungle Queen ult. He's going to pop it, only find the Tracer, but it doesn't matter. She will go down, and overtime Wick now ticking. Moira's going to fall, and UMD bringing this back from the brink of destruction.
Wow. I mean, it's not quite over yet. Lucio's stalling on the point, but now as time ticks down, nobody else there to touch. And you can see how happy Tony doing a little bit of a celebration. And Terps Esports are on cloud 9.
Wow, that was just... Wow.
Yeah.
Like, that was a comeback of the ages because, oh my gosh, Wisconsin was holding that point so well. And then it only took one extended awkward fight where both teams were just stalling. Oh, we're going to see that triple kill. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
But both teams lost their Queen. And then things just stalled from there. No damage really went down. No kills really came out of it. Until Pumpkin's beat. And Pumpkin's beat, we don't talk about these 4 players enough, but Pumpkin's beat was the tide. Turned the tide of the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I really thought that Wisconsin was gonna they came out swinging with that Junker Queen rampage, and they were able to find that Junker Queen Infectious immediately right on the fight. But unfortunately, maybe Wisconsin just wasn't able to commit to the fight with the Junker Queen. I don't really know, but the Junker Queen falls immediately after, even though she should have had that bleed damage keeping her up.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I can think of is that she didn't hit anyone. She hit, I think, if I remember correctly, she hit Moose, who's a Moira, and can just fade away. Yeah. And also Infectious, who falls.
Who falls immediately.
Then, like, your bleed damage is gone. So now you're just in their backline and you're just dead. But it just goes to show how good, A, ult tracking on the side of UMD, just to know that the Jungle Queen has the ult, and B, positioning against that ult. Not stacking on your tank, not stacking behind your tank, not getting hit by it is just, I mean, the best way to play around it, am I right? So it just goes to show that all these players really know their stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really glad that you said that. I mean, I know that I would have been cowering behind Infectious. I mean, such a strong player. I would have trusted him to keep me alive, but fortunately, Terps Esports, all of those players, very confident in their own abilities, and rightfully so, able to win them the match. Frankly, yeah. That confidence.
3-0.
Yeah, you could see how excited Tony was for that.
Infectious popping a bit of I don't want to say BM, but you know, a little bit of
if you go 3-0, you're allowed to celebrate.
Yeah, just be kind, I guess.
Yeah.
So, if that's all you have to say,
yeah,
I think we will see you guys next time. Oh well, actually, this is the last round of Big Ten. So, with that being said, we will. I think we are switching the schedule.
Yes.
So, Overwatch will be on Thursdays, if I remember correctly, for NECC. So, we will not be seeing you guys back on Mondays, but we will see you guys back on Thursdays. So, that being said, this has been Alex, joined with...
I've been Tomas.
And we will see you guys next time.
Be kind, everyone.
Peace.